Hi everyone and welcome to Rob Evans 365. It's day number 373. Today I want to talk to you about winning mindset, because when you have this winning mindset, the hunger for success, nothing will stop you. And today I want to talk about Ash Barty. Now Ash Barty, a few years ago you just never would have heard of her. But the reason that I'm talking about her now is that just this week she's been ranked as number one tennis player for females in the world, and the first Australian since the 1970s, first female Australian since the 1970s, Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley, to be crowned number one. I mean, in tennis, we have traditionally not been strong in this area, but here we have number one in the world in Ash Barty. And let's just have a look at what she has done. So I think it was a number of years ago. She's only 25 or something now. Or is it 22? Maybe it's 25. Not sure. Anyway, a number of years ago, she won Wimbledon in the juniors. So I don't know how old you need to be up to that. And then, she was in the pro ranks for a while, but didn't really do that well. And I think 3 years ago, her rank was 630 something. Just 3 years ago. And she stepped away from the game and she went to play professional cricket, which she was doing quite well at. She played that for a while. And then she decided that she would she'd always decided apparently to return to the game of tennis at some stage, but then she's come back, and she's come from 633 3 years ago to number one. She just won the French Open. She just won another tournament to be crowned number one. She's resting this week from a tournament. I think Wimbledon starts next week, and she'll be right for that. It's like she's just obviously at the top of her game right now. And it's like, wow, how did she do that? Obviously an incredibly talented lady to be able to be, the top in the world in her sport in tennis, move away from it, go to, at the junior level in tennis, move away from that, go to another sport, cricket, completely different skill set required, be able to perform at the top level there in the world, then return back to tennis and become number one. I mean, you can imagine what it has taken for her mindset to be able to go from where she was and have all the odds against her in that, for over 40 years, almost 50 years, no Australian woman has been ranked that highly in the tennis, and never mind number one. And she's left all that behind and said, not only am I going to return to the game of tennis, I will be number one. And she has now just achieved it. And what makes it even better is the fact that she's such a humble lady. And it's so nice to see. I mean, I'm sure there's many examples of male tennis players around the world, but certainly the Aussie tennis players around the world, they seem to walk around with such a big chip on their shoulders, so arrogant. Like you look at Kyrgios and his temper tantrums and stuff, and he might be good, but I don't know what he's ranked, but he's never going to be number one unless he changes his attitude. And I think that was the same with Andre Agassi. Andre Agassi, when he was younger, he had the long hair and the headband and stuff. He thought he was eating a bit, and he had a horrible attitude. He was very aggressive. And then when you saw him come back and be number one in the world for a number of years, he completely changed. He was very docile on the court, didn't lose his temper. He just put it all into his game, and his level of fitness and everything was unbelievable. Look at Roger Federer, very humble guy. I actually had a dream about Roger Federer last night that I met him in a doctor's surgery and asked him for a selfie. And you listen to him, and he's been at number one for so long. He's the best player in history because of his track record. He's still at the top of his game. He's not ranked number one, but he's right up there. And he never loses his temper. But we've got these Aussie guys that do. And here's Ash Barty is number one. These Aussie guys that lose it, they don't make it to number one. I mean, Leighton Hewitt, years ago, he made it, but still, he's just got a bad attitude. But he's got a never die attitude as well. He just fights to the death, so it can be entertaining. But Ash Barty, she's claimed the number one spot. Just such a humble lady, and such an incredible role model for not only other young women, but tennis players in general and sports people in general. I think she's done a superb job. So how would you get there? Well, obviously she has had an incredible drive, hunger and determination to be the absolute best version of herself and be number one. Because unless she's had that vision, you do not accidentally become number one. You don't say, oh, well, I'm just going to do my best and see what happens. You've got to focus on being number one. And that means a whole lot of pain for you in terms of the training that you need to put in, the hours, the physical pain that you need to go through, the mental anguish that you have to go through. You have to become emotionally fit as well as physically fit in order to achieve a number one status. And she's just playing so well. I don't know much about her coaches and how many coaches that she has got, but her coaches are obviously doing a really great job with her as well, because she can't get to where she is without those coaches. So crucial. Obviously, she's paying attention to her food. Obviously, she has a really strong mindset and a will to keep on driving and pushing and succeeding no matter what. So I'm so proud that she's been able to achieve it, especially when you consider where she was just 3 years ago, and going from 633 to number one. What an incredible shift. And I'm sure she has seen the pathway, but she's also the one that's made it happen. And I think we, as a society, we celebrate it and say, oh wow, because she's Australian, and it's like, oh wow, look at what she's been able to achieve, and then it's kind of forgotten. But I think the biggest story is what is underneath the trophy. That's the biggest success story, and that's what makes it exciting. To see somebody be able to transform their life, transform their playing ability, their mental state, is I think amazing to show you. Like, if she can do it, anyone can do it. I mean, honestly, you look at her and you look at her against, like, physically against other tennis players. I don't know how tall she is, but she doesn't look the fittest person. She doesn't look the strongest person. But clearly, she's got a great game and a great mindset, because you could have all those things against you and do poorly. Like, when you're up against it, it's easy to do poorly because no one expects you to do well. But when you want it badly enough, more badly than you, or just as badly as you want to take that next breath, that's when things start to shine. That's when things start to all align in place. And I feel that, yeah, we can use these examples to inspire us, but so few of us are prepared to go to the depths that these elite athletes are at to get to the result that they get. people think, oh yeah, that'd be great. Oh, imagine being number one. Well, why not create that experience for you? Now, am I ever going to be a number one tennis player in the world? No, not at my age and without any tennis skills. I've never played the game. That's not possible. But I can adopt the mindset of the athlete to the aspect of life that I want to succeed in. And I think that's the difference. And then it's about doing all the hard work to get there. Now, if you think that success is a smooth ride, and if you think that you're not almost going to become broke along the way, or you're the pain that you were going to go through, and you think, well, yeah, I know it's going to be hard and painful, but it's not until you experience it that you're like, oh man, is this what it means? I mean, talking to Kerry Pothast, so we're just about to launch a program together, and when I hear what Kerry went through to get to where she is, or where she was at the gold medal stage, and now what she's able to do because of the mindset that she had, is truly remarkable. I mean, I think she had full knee reconstructions. I might have that wrong. But just the physical pain to go through that. And after those knee reconstructions, to say, do you know what? I am going to win an Olympic gold medal. It's like, how many of you would have that thought in the back of your head? Oh, well, I can't do that. Gee, one knee reconstruction, I couldn't do that. But if I've had four, absolutely, I just couldn't do that. You would have that little voice that kept saying, you're going to fail, don't push too hard, don't jump too high, don't dive too much. All of those types of messages that would set you up for failure. But no, she pushed through the physical pain, the emotional pain, set clear targets every single day, and a very driven lady to achieve the outcome that she has achieved. And I think that's to be admired and revered. But you can learn from these people, these athletes, these successful authorities in your field, whatever it is that you want, around the world. Learn from them, copy what they've done, and repeat it. That's the bottom line. It's just that most people don't want to dig to the depths. Like, I'm sure for you right now, if you had a passion and you were financially very successful through that, let's just say that it was, let's just say it was $100 million. 99% of you, if you had that money in your bank account, you would not continue pushing as hard as you are. You would become complacent. You would sit back. You would relax. You would take it easy, because you'd figure, well, what's the point? I don't need to do this. I'm comfortable. Let's just take the easy road. Now, if that was you, then I'll tell you this, you won't get to the 100 million. Because if you get to 100 million without it being an inheritance or a lottery or something like that, if you've earned it, then you won't lose it to start with, but you will always be looking for that next thing. How do you serve more people? That's where it's got to come from. How do you help more people be happier in life, or achieve what it is that they want to achieve through your passion? Once you achieve that, the money will take care of itself. Like for me, it wouldn't matter what amount of money I had in my bank account. I would keep doing what I'm doing. I would probably do it on a grander scale, but I would never stop, because it's so important to what I do. That's what makes it exciting. And I think it's nature's way of saying, well, I'm not going to give you that financial security and freedom, because you've got to work for it. And in working for it and getting to those numbers that you want to, you've got to be passionate about what it is that you want to do. And not only do you have to be passionate about it, you've got to put in a whole bunch of work. And not only that, you've got to dig to the depths of pain that you never thought existed. You've got to feel so much anguish and heartache and disruption in your life where you're almost broken. And it's going to strain every fiber, physically, mentally, that you have in order for you to succeed. And when you get to that point, that's when things start to grow. All of the very successful people that I know, like I'm talking world success, have almost been broke or have been broke, had negative cash in their bank account, but they have found a way to rise above it. Whether it's JT, whether it's Tony Robbins, they all have a different story, but it's similar. It's the pain and the depth of pain that you go through where you find what it is that you really want. And that's how you get successful. So you look at Ash Barty, imagine the pain that she's gone through to achieve what she has now achieved. And it might look all good and rosy, but she's probably been working on that for 15 years. And there would have been a lot of injuries along the way, I am sure. But now she's in such a blessed position. But everyone will be wanting to knock her off. So it's very challenging to stay at number one. Sometimes it can be easier, you're hungrier climbing the hill than you are at staying on top of the hill. But the message today is, wow, look at what's possible. Okay, if someone else can do this, so can you. We revere these athletes, and yes, a lot of these athletes have talent and skill that maybe you don't have, but take that success and apply it to your field, your area of passion, and you can do this too. If I look at where my life was 6 months ago to where it is now, 6 months ago, the only thing I would have said to you is, I have a hunger to get there and I will get there. I wouldn't have known how to get there, apart from the fact that I got coaching. And I got coaching from the world's #1 wealth coach, JT Fox, and because he coached me, he got me to where I wanted to get to so much faster. And I am not stopping where I am now. It feels to me like I'm only just getting to the start line. That's how it feels. Other people would look and say something completely different, but that's how I feel about it. Now, you can do that too. Now, if your health and fitness journey, fastest way to get there, get a great coach. That's what we're here for. Here to support you, give you all the tools and coaching that you need to get the results that you need and want so much quicker. So that's my message today. You have a great day, and remember, if I can do it, if Ash Barty can do it, if JT can do it, if Tony Robbins can do it, if all these people can do it, so can you. Focused energy. Have a great day.